Commander, a moment of your time, if you would? Commander, I'm glad I managed to intercept you before we left. There's something of utmost importance I wish to discuss. Relax, Commander. You are not under my authority to judge. Though if you were, that phrase alone would have certainly seen you hauled off to mental refreshment. I received a message from a close friend of mine, Virgil. He was my co-protege under the Supreme Arbiter. His message claimed he had information relevant to the Supreme Arbiter's death. He wishes to meet with me at the Vox Relay on Paradise Island. I did not mention it before, but believe it may be necessary to avoid shocking you later. Our greatest suspect in the death of the Supreme Arbiter is the Protectorate's consul. I suspect you refer to the relay's recent launch. Virgil likely expects to meet with us at the base of the facility. It does seem a strange place to have a reunion, but I trust Virgil has his reasons. I doubt they've anything to do with the perfidy that recently occurred there. Our mentor always disdained him thoroughly, and he our mentor. If anyone would have had reason to slay her, it would have been him. But we have needed evidence. Evidence that I believe Virgil now possesses. It was actually his suggestion we divide and conquer. As our operational philosophies differ ever so slightly, this seemed a good plan. Virgil often prefers to watch rather than act, and was often lenient with sentencing where I was not. This behavior was often criticized by the Supreme Arbiter, but there have been occasional rare instances where treating a subject with mercy ultimately resulted in better behavior. It is a novel, albeit strange, philosophy. Fine, but keep it close in mind if you would. Not knowing what he's found shall be a weight on my consciousness.
You might follow a ruinous religious doctrine and be driven by irrational, bloodthirsty urges, but you're a rather effective killer, and I respect that.
That means a lot, coming from such a ruthless purveyor of death. Wish you'd let yourself really get into it sometimes, though. Get your face and hands drenched in blood.
That sounds disgusting, dear. Though I do appreciate the sentiment. I want to defeat the Protectorate as much as the next rational sentient being. But I'm not sure it's worth allying with the corporatists. You're quite curious. I'm unsure if you're a mercurial contrarian, corporate stooge, or possess some hidden strategy. Ah, so it's the former then. You're a mercurial contrarian with no discernible plan. Noted. May all our endeavors yield expected results.
What are we standing around jawing for? There's mayhem and murdering to be done. Such as? We are simply a group of enlightened individuals seeking to spread the truth of the rifts, despite our persecution by those who seek to keep the masses aimless and distraught.
Hey, Commander. Can we talk? Promise it'll be quick. I wanted to apologize for the way I handled things after Greater Tranquility. I still feel my anger was justified, but I could have been more tactful. To put it bluntly, I wish you had made a different call. But there's no changing it now. And keeping at each other's throats over it won't help anyone, so I'm letting it go. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. We can get back to the mission now. Only felt right to clear the air. I've learned the hard way what happens when you leave things to fester.
Let us make our way to Paradise Island at once.
Stop right there, Arbiter Rao. Though I am here on official business, I would prefer to keep this cordial. The Consul seeks answers related to your recent activities. I approach you openly in the hopes that you will comply with his request and come with me peaceably.
What do you blather about? Delay me and you will pay the price. Not only do I have more pressing business with a colleague, but I do not answer to sentinels or the Consul.
Your friend is wise. I constructed the message that drew you here. Virgil shall not be arriving. I recommend you lay down your weapons.
Virgil's not coming, you say? Curious. And here I was thinking I was already present.
Virgil! Touting your flair for the dramatic, even now, I see. But I fear our reunion must wait until we've dealt with this pawn of the Consul.
I had not expected a third party, but it is so much the better. I'm afraid you must come with me as well, Arbiter Montag.
A sentinel demanding anything of me? What madness! Neither Tristan nor I shall accompany you anywhere. Any attempts to force us shall be met with violent reprisal.
Suffering the ignobility of retreat from my duties is as severe a crime as defection. Both of these arbiters can attest to that.
Beware what you say. These sentinels deal in trickery and subterfuge. It would be safer to kill him than to discuss his surrender. This fool impersonated my credentials, triggering a system alert that led me here. A lowly deception, even for one of the Consul's own.
It was a necessary deception, and one not undertaken lightly. Its aim was to draw your colleague here without bloodshed, for I know he would not have arrived at my request.
Your explanation does not pull my heartstrings, Sentinel. Yet you at least had the sense not to assail us outright. Surrender, and perhaps you may yet live.
You may not believe me, but I have much admiration for the work you and Arbiter Montag have done for the Protectorate. I've no wish to fight. Enough loyal subjects have died in this war. Come willingly and peaceably, I beseech you. Both Arbiter Rao and Arbiter Montag were explicitly requested to return to Praetor by the Consul, alongside all other arbiters some months ago. Refusal without reason is treasonous.
And I'm sure that if we went, we would have been returned whole, neither interrogated nor mentally refreshed. As if your master's nefarious agenda would allow that.
I've no inkling of what you speak. My only master is the Protectorate. My only agenda, the return of peace throughout Arcadia.
Very well. But be warned, I'm not exactly trained in the art of improvisation. We'll need a very good reason for my not answering the Consul's summons.
You don't look like a scientist.
I'm sure you've heard the rumors that our foodstuffs have been 2% less nutritious than in the past. We seek to rectify this most worrisome factoid.
I see. It would appear I misjudged this situation after all. I must reinterpret my orders. Accosting you illegally and the subsequent punishment would be mortifying.
So he's chosen not to attack, but the situation has not changed. We spare him. His master gains another tool to cover up the Supreme Arbiter's death.
What are you talking about? I do not seek to hide the Supreme Arbiter's death. I seek to find her killer. Such was next on my list of duties after I apprehended you.
We don't. We never should have started speaking with him in the first place. This is all clearly a tactic on the Consul's behalf. By sending out his agents, he seeks to deflect suspicion from himself. That is, if our compatriot here speaks true.
What must you think of me, or my fellow Sentinels, that you'd even suggest I'd lie to arbiters? I'm not the one positing scurrilous accusations about our beloved Consul, but you needn't take me at my word. My next assignment was to investigate the Oculus collating post. A hidden room there may contain information pertinent to the investigation. I cannot speak to its purpose, only that it is strange and worthy of investigation.
Or it is yet another falsity, intended to draw us close before snapping our necks.
It's a risk worth taking. I can endure whatever the Consul sends my way, and if there is a minuscule chance that this Sentinel speaks true, we must investigate.
I'm pleased to be of service, in some manner or another. Protectorate subjects should aid one another. Secret is a misnomer. The room appears to have been built by mistake, but someone forestalled its demolition without marking it on station blueprints. This is what is suspect. I will take my leave of the lot of you, and in peace. It is my sincere hope that circumstances are as you claim, lest we be forced to meet again.
I shall follow him out, just to certify he intends to act as he speaks. That's done with. He left peaceably, as he said, though I have my doubts for how long.
That was some impressively savvy improvisation before, Commander. Without you, circumstances would have certainly devolved into a battle to the death.
I'll spare you my doubts for the umpteenth time, Tristan. I just hope the risk is worthwhile.
I appreciate your caution, but it is quite unnecessary. My comrade and I will look into Oculus collating post. Yes, but never for long, and it's been many years. I also have no recollection of any hidden room, so we may have some hunting to do. I regret we've not had more time to talk, Virgil. It has been ages.
Worry not. I'm certain we'll have plenty of time to converse when you've finished your investigation. I have several leads of my own to pursue, as a matter of fact. Until our paths cross again, my friend.
Did you need something? I'm not hearing a question. Oh, I am a dedicated member of the Order. Beyond that, there's really little you or anyone need to hear about. Consider yourself lucky. You already know more about me than anyone else I've met in the last 20-odd years. Dorado appealed to me because it was off the board but not completely remote. There I could lie low for a time, but observe. So I'd believed. Our department was shuttered shortly after Ruth Pissar took office. To avoid undue attention, I remained in hiding. To put it mildly, after the incident in question, seeking refuge seemed prudent. Information free of context can be off-putting, confusing, dangerous even, if misjudged. I mentioned before I was part of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. My role there, you may recall, was head intercessor. I was tasked to influence pivotal events, to keep the solving of the equation on track. Something occurred. I needed to step off the board a while.
I shall make certain no other puppets of the console yet seek us. On your way.
I've only visited Oculus Collating Post a handful of times, and that was long before its deprecation. But something is to be found there. I'm sure of it. I recall this place. These stations have been automated since my day, though this one has certainly accrued dust. Odd that it would be in a state of lockdown. I have a general override that should allow us entry, but anything specific to local systems, including security systems, may be beyond me. But in places, these security measures should not be operational. And the station seems to be on reserve power. We'd best tread carefully. Well, no one is here, lying in ambush. Perhaps some stray systemic error activated the entryway defenses. We'd best first report to security ops, lift this lockdown. From there, we can set about reactivating the station's primary power, which will allow us to explore unhindered. It seems our intelligence was correct. There's clearly a door here, and I would hazard that we'll be able to open it somewhere on station. I find this entire situation suspicious. Protectorate engineers err very infrequently, and an error as extreme as this room's presence should have been rectified. But I digress. We should make sure the station is at full power. If there's an override, that's the only way it will work. Let us go. I feel a strange sense of nostalgia being here, and I do not enjoy it. Is that a footprint in the dust? This station shouldn't have received visitors in years. Be on guard. Someone else may be here. My passcode shall not work on this terminal. Unlocking it may be a creative endeavor. Good effort lifting the lockdown. We may now reactivate the station in the reactor room. The reactor activation circuits shall likely be dysfunctional. It's a known issue with these old stations. Let me look. Corroded transistors, dust in the actuator. Did a sprat gnaw on this? Sweet sovereign, what a mess. There. I think I have it. Let us hope my override does not trigger any security alerts. Good. This should avail us of a much simpler search. Let us return to the central room once more and see if anything seems out of place. I shall reduce them to a slurry! Unleash my might upon them! Our commander hangs from a cliff!
Recharge for me!
Status currently prospering. Status.
I cannot say I have had to search for a hidden switch in a protectorate holding before. Keep watch. It could be rather small and well hidden. Certain of movement below.
Passcode is limber. No. Let's try amulet. No. Wingtip. No. Sovereign's gavel. I should remember this. Damn it. Ambergris can't be it. That's too short for a facility like this. Wait. Oh, no.
Of the strategies of feigning innocence I have seen, this is certainly the most pathetic. I accuse you of trespassing upon the private domain of the Sovereign. For these crimes... Wait, I know you. Luther Okada? What in blazes are you doing here? And why do you wear a Sub Rosa uniform?
Because I work for Sub Rosa? More than that, I don't think I can say, Cadet Rao. Mostly because I'm not supposed to, but also because I can't remember.
I knew this man when I was still a cadet. Okada is, or was, a petty troublemaker, though a crafty one. As cadets, Virgil and I apprehended him often. Sometimes Virgil let him go, but he usually went to mental refreshment.
Often enough to know the technicians by name. Until I forgot them again.
This truly is no ploy. But mental refreshment is supposed to return wayward subjects to the proper path, not cause whatever this is. Despite his faults, the Okada I knew was ultimately benign. But the fact remains that he now trespasses in a secure facility. Duty dictates that I must execute him. That's a wise path. One that shall give me time to contemplate what must be done.
An Arbiter used the word execute in the last few seconds, yet I remain alive? Didn't think that was possible. I was sent here to do a specific job, but some of the details are hazy. Gives me conniptions.
I can try. Okada, I'm sympathetic of your plight, but my sympathy alone will not avail me of my duty. I require a foolproof reason to allow you to live.
Seems I'm reduced to bargaining for my life. Wouldn't have been in this predicament if it weren't for my blasted brain pan. Fine. I was hired by an anonymous third party. They provided me with the station's location and credentials to bypass its defenses. May have tripped a few on my way here. Can't recall. I was told the station was abandoned, which it clearly isn't, and to break into this terminal and delete the information on it. That is all I know. I didn't. I was only told it was hidden. My memories of home may be gone, but my instincts are still intact. Such comfort as that merits.
Ignorance does not excuse criminal action. Even if you did not know the severity of this infiltration, it remains a deadly serious infraction.
He and the other one must have put me away close to 12 times each. I used to be something of a ne'er-do-well.
Ne'er-do-well is a polite term. He was a repeat malefactor. I believe last time we met, he'd vandalized a janitorial automech in an attempt to make it spew profanity.
I got 18 months of hard labor for that. Served me right.
As much as I'd prefer not to admit it, you may be right. Whoever hired him must not have known about his addled mind. They were moving quickly, desperately.
I didn't used to be like this. I can still sneak with the best of them. Not being able to remember doesn't make me any worse as an agent. It doesn't!
Any of my fellow arbiters would have killed you before this conversation began. But I can't decide whether to disdain or pity you. I don't know that I can. He is a trespasser. His slipping mind matters not. You have my trust, but if I am to remain loyal to my morals, I must be convinced. I am familiar with the concept, but in the Protectorate, intent matters little. Manslaughter still results in death. Sedition can happen unconsciously, just as it may consciously. A hyperbolic example. Although I suppose if it happened repeatedly, the punishment would be identical. Though this is hardly the place for a discussion about Protectorate law, I do at least see your point. My duty dictates it. Killing Okada may not affect the one who hired him, but his trespass is an indelible fact. He should not be here. That doesn't mean anything. An arbiter cannot trespass. And even if I could, I still act with the Protectorate's best interests in mind. Not out of some base self-interest. Were the situation different, perhaps I could look the other way. But Okada has clearly defected, and is thus not afforded such a luxury. It is fortunate you have gained my trust, or I would not bend to one who had not. Justice must serve a purpose. Okada may live, and I hope we shan't regret it. Be gone. You've been granted your final stay of execution. Should our paths ever cross again, you know what will occur.
I didn't think this would happen. Thank you, Cadet Rao. My apologies for all the strife I caused over the years. And you. Without you, I would have been reduced to my composite parts. Here, take these. I suppose you'll have more use for them than I, in my present state.
Allowing a Sub Rosa agent to leave with his life in the heart of a Protectorate station. We may have to speak on this further. But let us see what we came here for first. The hint pertaining to the passcode on that terminal, I believe I know the answer. It is contained in a phrase the Supreme Arbiter drilled into our heads for many years. Our work at the refugee camp did not slake your investigative hunger? I doubt you'll be able to surmise it exactly, but come even close, and I shall be impressed. For myself, the Supreme Arbiter, and Virgil especially, if judgment is the Arbiter's gavel, what is the Arbiter's scalpel? Ah, you've got the spirit exactly, if not the word itself. Very nice. An arbiter's gavel is judgment, and an arbiter's scalpel is analysis. Try entering that. From that terminal, it sounds as if the Supreme Arbiter had some sort of business with the Consul. To what end, I wonder? The tone of her response seemed relaxed, but I do not believe she would have met with the Consul unless she had no other choice. And that feckless agent. I don't understand his aim or who he would be working for. Only the Consul. But the Protectorate does not ally itself with Sub Rosa. I couldn't imagine the Consul pinning his duties on someone so clearly out of sorts as our recently departed friend. Besides, he has his own agents. Well, at least we found what we needed on the Supreme Arbiter's terminal. I only hope whatever awaits us at Central Control is less tumultuous. As for Okada, I'm not sure what to think. My decision to allow him to go free was at odds with all I have been taught. He was a traitor and should have died. Yet, I cannot help but feel strangely justified. Of course. My apologies for burdening you thus, Commander. These are strange times. I will try not to think any further on this. Altogether, I think visiting this station was fruitful for my ultimate task. Hopefully, we'll grow ever closer to discovering the Supreme Arbiter's true killer. And, circumstances aside, I appreciate your accompanying me here, Commander. It means much. Now let us return to the incognito and plan out our next steps.